Welcome back to our channel, everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Eric. And today we're diving deep into a discussion on the causes of crime, a complex issue that affects communities all around the world.
That's right. In this episode, we'll explore various factors that contribute to criminal behavior by examining key vocabulary terms such as moral, slum, drift into something, parental, gang, and penalty.
We'll break down each term with detailed explanations, real-life examples, and thoughtful dialogues so you can better understand how these factors intertwine in discussions about crime.
So buckle up as we take you on an insightful journey into the social, economic, and familial influences behind criminal behavior. Let's get started.
Let's begin with our first term, moral.
Moral.
Moral refers to the principles or standards that distinguish between right and wrong, guiding our behavior and decision-making.
In discussions about crime, we often consider how moral values or the lack thereof can influence actions. For example, someone might argue that a decline in moral values in society could lead individuals to justify unethical behavior.
You could say, a strong sense of moral responsibility helps prevent criminal activities, meaning that when people have clear ethical principles, they are less likely to engage in wrongdoing.
Conversely, if moral standards are compromised or ignored, it can create an environment where crime is more likely to occur.
Imagine a community where people no longer value honesty or integrity. Such a breakdown in moral values can pave the way for corruption and criminal behavior.
That's why many believe that fostering strong moral principles from an early age is critical in crime prevention.
In our conversation today, we'll explore how moral education and community values can serve as protective factors against crime.
Exactly, and we'll look at how various influences, like family upbringing and societal expectations, impact our collective moral compass.
Next, let's move on to the term slum.
Slum.
A slum is a densely populated urban area characterized by substandard housing, poverty, and lack of basic services.
When discussing the causes of crime, researchers often point to slum conditions as a contributing factor. The overcrowding, limited access to education and healthcare, and high unemployment rates found in slums can create an environment where crime flourishes.
For example, you might say, many young people from the slums feel isolated and are at risk of being drawn into criminal activities, which highlights how harsh living conditions can drive individuals to seek alternative, sometimes illegal, ways of coping.
The challenges in slum areas include not only economic hardships but also social exclusion. This exclusion can lead to a sense of hopelessness that makes crime seem like one of the few available options.
In one case study, a community initiative aimed at improving living conditions in a slum showed that when residents had better access to education and employment, crime rates dropped significantly.
That example underscores the importance of addressing slum conditions as part of a comprehensive strategy to reduce crime.
Throughout our discussion, we'll examine how the physical and social environment of slums contributes to criminal behavior and what steps can be taken to improve these conditions.
Ultimately, addressing the root causes of poverty and inadequate living conditions in slums is key to curbing the cycle of crime.
Now, let's discuss the phrase drift into something.
Drift into something.
Drift into something means gradually moving toward a particular state or activity without a clear plan, often as a result of external influences or a lack of direction.
In the context of crime, young people may drift into criminal activities when they lack opportunities or guidance. For example, one might say, without proper support, many youths drift into gangs or other illicit activities.
This phrase suggests that the movement into criminal behavior isn't always a deliberate choice. It can be a gradual process influenced by environmental factors, peer pressure, or simply the absence of positive alternatives.
Another example might be, after dropping out of school, he began to drift into trouble, eventually getting involved with a local gang.
Here, drift into conveys that the transition wasn't sudden, but happened over time as the individual lacked a clear path.
It's important to note that intervening early, by offering mentorship, education, or job opportunities, can prevent individuals from drifting into a life of crime.
Our discussion today will explore how societal factors and personal circumstances contribute to this gradual drift and what can be done to offer better alternatives.
Understanding the concept of drift into something can help us identify the warning signs and provide support before it's too late.
Next, we examine the term parental.
Parental.
Parental relates to anything concerning parents or the responsibilities and behaviors associated with parenthood.
In the discussion of crime, parental influence is crucial because family is often the first environment where moral values and social behavior are learned.
For instance, you might say, parental guidance plays a significant role in preventing children from engaging in criminal activities, emphasizing that supportive and responsible parenting can be a deterrent to crime.
Another example is, the lack of effective parental supervision can leave children vulnerable to negative influences, potentially steering them towards a life of crime.
Research has shown that parental involvement, whether through active communication, setting clear boundaries, or offering emotional support, is a critical factor in shaping a child's future behavior.
Moreover, children who receive positive parental influence are more likely to develop a strong moral compass and self-discipline, reducing their risk of engaging in criminal behavior.
Our conversation will delve into how different aspects of parental care, such as supervision, support, and values education, can impact a child's choices and overall well-being.
It's clear that strong parental guidance not only nurtures healthy development, but also acts as a preventive measure against the drift into negative behaviors.
Next, let's focus on the term gang.
Gang.
A gang is a group of individuals who come together, often for protection or to engage in criminal activities.
Gangs are commonly associated with areas that face economic and social challenges, such as slums or neighborhoods with limited opportunities.
For example, you might say, many teenagers in economically deprived areas are vulnerable to joining a gang, highlighting the risk factor that gangs pose for youth.
Another example is, the gang controlled a large part of the neighborhood, making it difficult for law enforcement to restore order, which shows the power and influence gangs can have in certain areas.
Gangs often provide a sense of belonging and protection to their members, but they also expose them to criminal behavior and violence.
This term is important because it reflects how social isolation and lack of opportunities can drive individuals to seek identity and security in groups that may engage in illegal activities.
In our discussion, we'll examine the factors that lead young people to join gangs and the broader societal implications of gang involvement.
We'll also discuss community initiatives and interventions that aim to steer individuals away from gang life and toward more constructive paths.
Finally, let's discuss the term penalty.
Penalty.
Penalty is a noun that refers to a punishment imposed for breaking a law or rule.
In the context of crime, penalties are designed to deter individuals from engaging in illegal behavior by imposing consequences, such as fines, imprisonment, or community service.
For example, you might say, the penalty for theft can include jail time and a hefty fine, indicating the seriousness of the consequences.
Another example is, stricter penalties for drug trafficking have been introduced to curb the rising crime rates, showing that harsher punishments are used as a deterrent.
The idea behind a penalty is not just to punish, but also to prevent future offenses by making the cost of criminal behavior clear.
When we discuss penalties, it's important to consider whether they are effective in reducing crime, or if they might have unintended social consequences.
In our conversation, we'll explore how different penalties impact criminal behavior and whether rehabilitative measures could be more beneficial than purely punitive ones.
Understanding the concept of penalty is essential for a well-rounded discussion on crime prevention and justice reform.
And that brings us to the end of our in-depth lesson on the causes of crime and the vocabulary associated with it.
Today we explored key terms including moral, slum, drift into something, parental, gang, and penalty.
We provided detailed explanations and multiple real-life examples to help you understand how these words are used in discussions about criminal behavior and its causes.
From the impact of moral values and parental guidance to the harsh realities of living in a slum and the allure of joining a gang, each term gives us insight into the complex factors that drive crime.
We also looked at how some individuals might drift into something harmful due to a lack of opportunities and how the state uses penalties to deter criminal actions.
This conversation is a reminder that the causes of crime are multifaceted, and that addressing these issues requires a comprehensive understanding of social, economic, and familial influences.
Whether it's fostering stronger moral values, improving living conditions in impoverished areas, or providing better parental support, each factor plays a crucial role in shaping a safer society.
We encourage you to think about these factors in your own communities and consider what changes could help reduce crime rates and support at-risk individuals.
Thank you for joining us on this educational journey into the causes of crime. We hope that by expanding your vocabulary, you gain a clearer perspective on these important social issues.
Keep engaging in meaningful conversations, stay informed, and always look for ways to contribute to positive change in your community.
Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and let every discussion pave the way to a better understanding of the world around you.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in our next episode.
Bye for now.
Take care, everyone.